Oh, hey, how you doing? It caught me in the middle of my 80-calorie yogurt. Well, it's got a little bit more than 80 calories in it. It's also got flaxseed. But don't worry, it's milled flaxseed, so it's going to be good for my colon. Because, whoa, what you need more than anything else in this world is, of course, a healthy colon. Otherwise, it becomes a semicolon. Nobody needs that. So, how you doing today? Who are you? Well, it doesn't matter. You're here. Is that bothering you? Is that bugging you? My air conditioner? It's wicked hot. All right, I'll turn it off for you. Oh yeah, it's my gear bag. What's in this thing? Well, I'm glad you asked. Yes, I know you did. This is a Billingham Hadley Pro. It's a great little camera bag. So, what's in this bag? I like this bag because this bag has got a removable insert, and I can put it into other things like a backpack. I usually don't. One of the reasons I usually don't is because this bag itself is weatherproof. Now it's not sealed up, but when you put the flap over it like that, there's nothing getting in from the sides. This thing is fantastic. I'd take it out in a rainstorm any day of the week. Assuming, of course, there is a rainstorm on any given day of the week. Alright, so what's in this thing? Well, first I have tucked off to the side, well, I already removed it, my mini Pixel Pocket Rocket. This is from Think Tank Photo. It's the usual SD card holder. The way I have this now, because I shoot the Fuji X-T2 and because I can store 2 cards, the way I have it set up is that I have, this is card 2A and this is card 2B, because when I put them into the camera, I put A in the first slot and B in the second slot, and this way I can keep them, keep track of them. So that goes off in the side here. So I bumped the ISO. I don't do video much, and the last time I did video it was with a handheld camcorder, and that took care of everything for me. Didn't have to think about it. I'm actually hoping that it's recording audio because I've got a nice little Rode pod, whatever the heck it is. It's a little thing that goes onto the hot shoe. I got it at Best Buy for like 50 bucks. Well, hopefully it works. It's a little shotgun mic. So anyway, here's the X-T2. I got rid of the Canon 5D Mark III for this. I got out a full frame specifically to get this camera. I love this camera. In fact, it was this lens that made me switch. Right now, I have a second X-T2 body that's on the tripod that's recording the video right now. I bought that for the total solar eclipse last year. And it worked out really well, but mostly it just sits in my cabinet right here, unused. So I figured, well, let's put it to good use up in the studio. So that has the original kit lens on it, which is the 18-55. And I was at a this horse ranch up in Dutchess County, and I was changing lenses, and I dropped that one. Dropped it right onto the ground, and the camera didn't want to work. And it was giving me a lens error, and then I look in there, it looks like there's damage in there. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Because I was going to Utah with my dad in 2016, and I needed a compact camera. The 5D Mark III just would have been too much bulk to carry around. So I said, that's it. I'm gonna get the 16-55 f2.8 lens. This is a great lens. It's the equivalent of 24 to about 83 on a full frame sensor. And it's f2.8, and I love this thing. I mean, look at this. You got your manual control right here for your aperture, and you got your nice tight zoom, you got your focus by wire. Now, focus by wire has advantages and disadvantages. The main advantage on the XT2 is that it allows you to have a nice depth of field hyperfocal distance indicator right there in the viewfinder. And ever since then, I've been shooting full-on manual every single time. So that's why this camera is stuck on, get out of there, in manual focus. This, of course, is the obligatory peak design, that's it. I actually, one of the very first Kickstarters I ever did was for the capture clip, which I used for a while. This right here is just their wrist strap. I also have a couple of slide lights, which are excellent, but for most of the time I don't need that. I'm just carrying around this bag. So that's the XT2 and the 16 to 55 millimeter lens. Great lens. The lens hood's got a little bit of damage on it from a little trip I took, literally, onto the side of the ocean in Oregon last summer, photographing Thor's well. And take a step off of the walkway there, and my one foot went forward, the other foot decided it's going to stay right where it is, and the rest of me just went right down on my left knee, and my left knee was torn up pretty awful. I ended up driving to the emergency room, but I got the shot. And fortunately, the lens hood saved the lens. I actually lost this lens hood on the beach that morning in Bandon. I took it off to put a neutral density filter on while it was still dark. I put it in my jacket pocket, and about 3 hours later, I noticed it's gone. And somebody actually found it and put it on a rock a couple hundred yards further up the beach. That's in my Oregon video. So that's the XT2 and the 16 to 55. What else is in this bag? There's really not a lot. I mean, my day-to-day kit is pretty compact. I don't know why this is on here. Let's get that off of there. This is the 10 to 24. Fuji's wide-angle lens. This is a great lens. It's image stabilized. I very rarely use it because I shoot almost exclusively on a tripod. The one problem I have with this lens is the one problem that everybody who shoots with this lens has. It's not weather sealed. How do you take a wide-angle lens and not weather seal it? When are you going to use this? You want to get the whole waterfall in, right? Well, what's in a waterfall? Water! What does this thing not like to be around? Water! So what I have to do if I want to use this is I have to wrap it in a baggie or wrap it in saran wrap or whatever, make sure there's a filter on the front of it, just so that I can protect this thing. This is a $1,000 lens. It is not weather sealed. All right, do away with the image stabilization. It's a frickin' wide-angle lens, okay? It's a wide-angle lens. I'm gonna shoot this at, I'm gonna shoot this thing at 10 millimeters, which is 15 millimeters on full frame. I don't need it image stabilized. It's wide angle. I don't need this thing image stabilized. Even when I zoom into 24, I don't need it. I don't need it. And I suspect that a lot of people would gladly trade image stabilization on this thing for weather sealing. Now, Fuji's coming out, well, they've been coming out, they've been talking about it now for a couple of years, and scuttlebutt is it's supposed to be out sometime by the end of this year, although we'll wait to see if that happens. An 8 to 16 rectilinear lens. And I am absolutely thrilled at the prospect of getting my hands on this lens. Of course, it's probably going to be one of those lenses where it's got an integral petal and it's too freaking big. There's no filter that I can actually put a neutral density filter on it. And you need to have a neutral density filter if you're going to shoot wide angle and shooting waterfalls and lightning and all the stuff that I shoot. So it's going to have to be one of those little rectangular attach onto it assembly things like the Lee big stopper holder thingamabobber. I don't own one, never have. Don't really want to. I'd like to have filter threads. All right, I don't need the 8 to 16. All right, Fuji, I need a 10 to 24 that is frickin' weather sealed. Weather sealed. Weather sealed. Then I'll be happy. 8 to 16, that'd be nice. Don't really need it. All right, what else do we have in here? Ah, yes. Lightning trigger. This thing is fantastic. This is actually the original from Stepping Stone Products. It takes one 9-volt battery. Right now I have it disengaged the opposite way. Don't want to burn it up. It's got a little window here that detects infrared. Infrared flash from lightning comes through, and it sends a signal through this cable. Got to make sure you get it plugged in the right way. You plug it in backwards, it's not going to trigger anything. You plug this thing in here, and you pop this on your hot shoe, and then you plug this into your remote plug. All right, this is a 2.5 millimeter. And the second it detects a flash, it'll send a signal to your camera to take the picture. And it works pretty good. It's not 100%, but it's a heck of a lot better than sitting there just going and hoping for the best. Typically when I shoot this, I try for about 1/4 second exposure, but I've seen some information that makes me think I may be using this wrong. So I'm gonna try some other options. Along that line, the other thing I have in here is my Tiffin filter holder. It's only supposed to hold 4 filters. I got more than that in here because I kind of need to. This is a B+W circular polarizer. It's multi-coated. It's got that nano coating on it, so water just beads right up on this thing. It's really good. You just wipe it right off and it's no big deal. It's just a circular polarizer. Twisty, twisty, twisty. Wasting time. What else do I have in here? I have a B+W nano-coated 3-stop neutral density filter. This is typically what I will use when I'm shooting lightning, or if I'm shooting waterfalls or trying to blur water motion on cloudy days. Then I have this little beauty right here. This is the Hoya infrared R72 filter. Now, I don't want to actually convert one of these bodies over to infrared fully, so this is really my only option. And of course, when you're doing it with the filter, you need to have longer exposure times. More about that in another video down the road. And the other things I have in here, Breakthrough Filter's 6-stop neutral density filter. I was actually sent this to be reviewed for the Gadgeteer, and unfortunately back then when I was asked to review it, I didn't know nearly enough about it to really speak definitively. I'm gonna tell you something about this, all right? Breakthrough Photography makes freaking great filters, all right? They are top notch. In fact, their neutral density filters, no color cast. All right, this is my 10-stop B+W. This thing is great, man. It'll knock light down all day long. If you want a nice magenta cast that you're gonna have to white balance the heck out of it afterwards. So, great filter, better filter. 6-stop Breakthrough. Oh, Breakthrough makes great stuff. I am just so thrilled with it. One of these days I'm gonna have to get more. And if I end up getting that 8-16, I'm gonna end up getting Breakthrough's external filter system. Okay, so that's my filter caddy. What else do I have in here? Well, in this pocket, I have the usual. I have PEC pads. These aren't bad, but usually what they do is they're not absorbent at all. They're lint-free, so they're good at like getting dust off. But if you want to use them as like actual absorbent cloths, they're no good for that. They won't. They'll just push water around. A nearly empty bottle of optical cleaning solution. Oh, wait a minute. No, it was the other one that was empty. This one's still about 1/3 of the way full. Yay. Okay, so cleaning fluid, and of course a microfiber cloth and another microfiber cloth. They go in here, and I can't say enough about these. Lens pens, these are wonderful. Pop one side off, and you can dust things off, and pop the other side off, and you got this activated charcoal on this pad here that you can use. But you want to make sure there's nothing on your lens, like, let's say, a piece of sand, before doing that, or you're going to scratch the heck out of your lens. And of course, this is a Canon. This is the E3 remote. The Fuji X-T2 takes their own proprietary USB remote cable, or it will take an E3 Canon remote and this is the one I use. It's really nice, it's lightweight. I have no problem plugging it in. I mean, I have to fumble with Fuji's USB trigger. It's awful. And then the other side, we have a 72 to 77 millimeter adapter, so that I can use all my 77 millimeter filters on my 72 millimeter diameter thread for the 10 to 24 lens. So that works well. Some extra batteries and an extra 9-volt battery for the lightning trigger. I use asparagus rubber bands to cover up the terminals. I use asparagus rubber bands for pretty much everything. They're wonderful. I mean, not only is asparagus awesome, and it is. I mean, asparagus is amazing. All right, never mind what it does to you, like, later, you know, when everybody wants to clear out, when you eventually have to let that go. Oh, there's one more thing. I almost forgot. My little Rokinon 8mm fisheye lens. This is a little beauty. I love this lens. And I'm actually tempted to get Rokinon's 12mm f2.8 lens also. And why get that when I have this? Well, this goes to f4, and that's a prime, and it goes to f2.8. And it's cheap. Cheap is good. I like cheap. I haven't bought a new lens, new anything really, in over a year now. Actually, I bought that camera body a year ago. I sold off all of my astronomy equipment to do it, just so I could afford it. So that's what's in my little bag. Oh yeah, here's one other thing. I found this at Lowe's. This is really cool. Who makes this again? This is from Milwaukee? Yeah, Milwaukee. Yeah, I have progressive lenses, and yet I still have to do this nonsense when I'm trying to read close up. This gives you a warmer light than most LEDs do. So if I'm doing light painting, I can have almost natural balanced light coming out of this. And it's also nice and diffused. So, and it's nice and portable, so it just slides right into this little loop right here on the side of the camera bag. Now I also have an extension pocket that I can put on this, also from Billingham. And into that, if I need to pack more, I can pop this little beauty right here. This is the 55 to 200. They've got a 55 to 140 f2.8. Don't need it. Yeah, I know it's weather sealed, but it's freaking huge, and I can't fit it in that separate bag. This is really nice and compact, really lightweight. It's analogous to the 70 to 300 that I used to shoot with on the Canon, except of course that was L-glass and weather sealed and weighed a ton. But this is a great little lightweight telephoto, and it gets right in on there. It's nice and sharp. Excellent. I also have a 100 to 400 millimeter lens. I use that very, very infrequently. I'll use it for birds, which I don't photograph all that much. And I used it for the eclipse last year. Ooh, I forgot about my yogurt. Iced tea. And so that's what's in this little bag. It's very nice, it's very lightweight, it's not cheap, but it will last you pretty much a lifetime. This thing is bulletproof. The way you attach it is you've got this little leather strap right here, and you just pop it in, pop it up, pop it in, pop it up. It looks like it should be undone with buckles, but it's not. So anybody who's trying to like fiddle with the buckles, no, you just pop it open from the top. And it also has a pocket back here for fitting your documents. It'll also fit an iPad 9.7 inch, and you can also tuck an iPad. I've even tucked up to an 11-inch MacBook Air in the back here, in the space behind the insert, but there's no padding for that. So I have an iPad with a nice sturdy case on it, so I can put that in there. Bulks it up a little bit, makes it a little bit heavier. In addition, you cannot remove the strap from the bag itself. It's sewn in place very, very tightly. And believe it or not, this is interesting about the Billingham bags. this little shoulder pad right here, that costs you extra. You have to actually pay extra to get this. The bag does not come with this. The bag, of course, is available in all kinds of configurations and colors and materials, and I just love this bag. I've been using this bag since 2012, and it looks like it's brand new. It looks like I just took it out of the bag. Although I've taken off and put back in the stuff from the inside so much, you know, all of this removable dividers, that it's a little bit pilled on the inside, but I could always replace the insert if I need to. But now that I'm pretty much set up with my camera gear, I don't think I'm really going to need to. Oh, and one other thing I have here in the studio, this is my edit machine. This is the iMac, not the Pro, this is the older iMac. Dear God, I'm fat. What is this? Ugh. I'm in the middle of losing weight, but of course when you're in the middle of losing weight, you have the problem that you're still fat! Anyway, this is a photo that I took yesterday of this oncoming storm. A little bit disappointing, but what I like about this is it's nice and big. I don't have to worry about it. I got this nice big track pad. Oh goody, somebody added a photo to Facebook, because I need to be notified about that every 5 seconds. I need to know the instant that somebody adds something to Facebook. I need that instant gratification. I'm just standing by, I've got my phone in my hand, and I'm thinking, please, when will there be some kind of notification so that I can get some sort of realization that I'm part of this world, this incredible world, this connected social media world that's so useless and pointless. Ooh, I've got mail. Spicy black bean cakes. That looks good. Let's see. Ooh, they even have a picture of it. Check it out. Doesn't that look pretty? Oh yeah, that looks good. It's got 4 stars. Sweet potato and black bean cakes. Yeah. Watch how it's made. Well, you know I can't miss that. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by to see this video today. It's been a long time since I've put a video up. I'm sorry, I'm going to try to put a lot more up, especially now that I've got a reasonable rig that I can use. This camera's just been sitting there in this cabinet, unused, for months. And I'm thinking, why have I not used it for video? I haven't used that lens in 2 years, because I thought it was broken. Guess what? It's obviously not broken. You know how I can tell? I actually have the camera hooked up to a TV monitor. If you actually see me looking off over to here, what I'm seeing is myself on this monitor. Look at these jowls. What's with the jowls? Ugh. Can't wait to lose that. Of course, you know, I lose all this weight and I end up with a big old turkey waddle on my neck, but what are you gonna do? So if you saw me looking over here, like I'm doing right now, which is aggravating because I'm talking, but I'm not looking at you. So it's disconcerting. See, now I'm looking at you, but I can't see myself on the screen, and my eyes just kind of keep wanting to go back over to the screen to see what's going on. Hi, screen. How are you? I'm neglecting my guests? Well, that's rude. Hi. Sorry. Come back next time for another episode of Shoot.